The housing market is about to explode in 2026. 14% growth. Record mortgage applications. Billions flooding back in. Sounds like great news, right? Wrong. Behind the recovery headlines lurks a brutal economic divide that will permanently separate winners from losers. According to National Association of Realtors chief economist Lawrence Yun, home sales will surge by 14% nationwide, marking one of the biggest rebounds in years. But here's what the mainstream media won't tell you. This boom is violently unequal. Jessica Lutz, another top NAR economist, made it crystal clear. There is a spread, a massive difference between the haves and the have-nots. And that gap? It's widening into a chasm that will swallow millions of aspiring homeowners. While equity-rich buyers feast on inventory, first-time buyers are being crushed, priced out, and locked out permanently. Mortgage applications have surged 31% year over year. Homes above $750,000 are flying off the market, but properties under $300,000? They've vanished. The American dream isn't dying equally. It's being redistributed upward at breathtaking speed. Are you positioned to profit from this surge? Or will you watch from the sidelines as wealth concentrates in fewer and fewer hands? What happens next in the 2026 housing market will determine your financial future. Stay with us, because the data we're about to reveal will change everything you thought you knew about this so-called recovery. The surge nobody's prepared for. After two of the slowest years in 3 decades, the housing market is waking up with shocking force. Mortgage applications have surged 31% year over year. That's not a modest uptick. That's a third more buyers aggressively entering the market, ready to compete, ready to pay, ready to fight for properties. The job market remains stable. Home builders are pushing through inventory at record pace. And the government shutdown that froze operations for 43 days? Over. Everything is back online and accelerating. Lawrence Yun isn't predicting a small bounce. He's forecasting a 14% surge in existing home sales and a 5% jump in new home sales for 2026. Coming off the back of 2024 and 2025, which saw the lowest transaction volumes in 30 years, this represents a seismic shift. Buyers who waited on the sidelines, praying for lower rates, for better conditions, for the perfect moment, they're done waiting. They're moving now. And when tens of thousands of buyers flood into a market with limited inventory, prices don't drop. They explode. The early signs are undeniable. Showing activity is up. Offers are coming in faster. Sellers are regaining confidence. But here's what most people don't understand. This surge won't lift all boats. It will drown those without resources while launching others into generational wealth. The Great Divide: luxury booms while entry-level drowns. The 2026 market isn't a rising tide. It's a sorting mechanism, separating winners from losers with ruthless efficiency. Homes priced at $750,000 and above? They're moving fast. Inventory is steady. Buyers are plentiful. These aren't desperate first-time buyers stretching every dollar. These are equity-rich owners rolling massive down payments from their first, second, or third properties into even more expensive homes. When you can drop $200,000, $300,000, even $500,000 in equity on a new purchase, a 7% mortgage rate barely matters. Your monthly payment stays manageable. Your buying power remains strong. But what about the other end? What about homes under $300,000, under $200,000, the properties that working-class families depend on? They've vanished. Inventory at the entry level has collapsed. In many markets, you can count affordable listings on one hand, and first-time homebuyers, who traditionally make up 35 to 40% of all transactions, have been decimated. In 2024, they represented just 24% of sales. That's a catastrophic drop. These are young families, first-generation buyers, people trying to build equity for the first time, and they're being crushed. The median age of a first-time buyer has now hit 40 years old. 40. That's not a market working for the middle class. That's a market that has fundamentally broken. While the wealthy roll equity and accumulate more assets, everyone else watches their dreams slip further out of reach. If you're realizing how critical this information is, subscribe to Housing Intel right now for weekly data-driven market breakdowns that cut through the noise and reveal what's really happening in American real estate. First-time buyers vanishing from the market. The disappearance of first-time buyers isn't just a statistic. It's an economic emergency that will reshape housing for decades. Normally, around 6 to 6.5 million homes sell in the United States each year. First-time buyers should account for over 2 million of those transactions. But in 2025, that number cratered. Why? Credit card debt is choking household budgets. Automobile loans are stretching 7, 8, even 9 years now. Childcare costs have exploded, with families paying $1,500 to $2,000 per month in many cities. Student loan payments have resumed after pandemic pauses, and savings? Wiped out by inflation. The result is a generation trapped in rent, unable to accumulate the down payment, unable to qualify for financing, unable to compete with equity-backed buyers offering all cash or massive down payments. Even programs designed to help are struggling. USDA loans, FHA financing, state down payment assistance programs, they all exist. But inventory is so limited at affordable price points that buyers can't find properties to purchase even when they qualify. Consider this: a home priced at $275,000 in a USDA-eligible area, over 2,000 square feet, all brick, in a stable neighborhood. That should be accessible. But for many watching, even that feels impossible when monthly payments hit $2,400 after taxes, insurance, and fees. And as insurance premiums and property taxes continue rising, that payment only grows. The entry door to homeownership isn't just narrowing. It's being welded shut for millions of Americans. Mortgage rates, the 6% ceiling nobody can escape. Everyone waited for rates to drop. Everyone believed that when the Federal Reserve pivoted, when inflation cooled, when the economy stabilized, mortgage rates would fall back toward 4%, maybe even 3.5%. That's not happening. Economists are projecting mortgage rates will hover around 6% throughout 2026, maybe dipping as low as 5.85% in the best-case scenario. But 3% rates? They're gone, possibly forever. And even if rates do touch 5.75 or 5.5% briefly during the second or third quarter, that minor dip will trigger even more buyer competition, pushing prices higher and erasing any affordability gain. Here's the reality borrowers need to accept. 6% is the new normal. And for buyers, without substantial down payments, without equity, without financial cushion, 6% on a $400,000 home with just 5% down means a monthly payment around $2,600 before insurance and taxes. Add another $300 to $500 for insurance in high-risk states like Florida, Texas, or California. Add property taxes. Suddenly, you're pushing $3,500 to $4,000 monthly. That requires household income of at least $100,000 to $120,000 to qualify comfortably. But median household income in most markets sits between $60,000 and $75,000. The math doesn't work. And when the math doesn't work, people get locked out. The 6% ceiling isn't temporary, it's structural, and it's reshaping who can and cannot participate in home ownership. Equity owners dominating the feeding frenzy. While first-time buyers struggle, existing homeowners are feasting. Baby boomers and Generation X property owners who purchased before 2015, before prices exploded, are sitting on staggering amounts of equity. Homes bought for $200,000 now worth $500,000. Properties purchased for $350,000 now valued at $700,000 or more. That equity is liquid gold in the 2026 market. These owners aren't selling and walking away. They're rolling equity into larger homes, into investment properties, into vacation rentals. They're upgrading, upsizing, accumulating more assets while prices surge. And because they're putting down 30, 40, even 50% on new purchases, they're winning every bidding war. A first-time buyer offering 3% down with an FHA loan can't compete with an equity owner offering 20% down conventional financing. Sellers choose the stronger buyer every time. This dynamic is accelerating wealth concentration at a pace not seen in generations. The rich aren't just getting richer. They're monopolizing housing stock, reducing supply for everyone else, and driving prices even higher through competitive buying pressure. The average homeowner now stays in their property for 12 years, up from 7 years just a decade ago. Why? Because selling means losing a low rate, losing affordability, losing stability. So inventory stays locked up while demand explodes. It's a perfect storm for those with assets and a nightmare for those without. If this breakdown is opening your eyes to what's really happening, hit that subscribe button to Housing Intel and ring the bell so you never miss market intelligence like this. Price reductions. The hidden opportunity. Despite the surge narrative, there's a hidden layer of opportunity for strategic buyers willing to hunt. As the market slowed through 2024 and 2025, sellers who overpriced their properties are finally capitulating. Homes sitting on the market for 61 to 90 days are seeing an average 9% price reduction. Properties lingering beyond 120 days? They're dropping 14% or more. These aren't nationwide crashes. They're localized corrections. Individual sellers adjusting to market reality. But for buyers, these reductions represent real savings. A home listed at $500,000 that sits for 90 days might drop to $455,000. That's $45,000 in immediate equity if you buy during the correction window before the 2026 surge fully ignites. The key is timing and patience. Sellers hate reducing prices, but they hate carrying two mortgages or watching their property sit even more. The longer a home stays listed, the more negotiating power shifts to buyers. And in a market about to explode with competition, these next few months, from late 2025 into early 2026, might be the last window where buyers have any leverage at all. After February, after the spring selling season kicks in, after mortgage applications convert into closed sales, that leverage evaporates. Bidding wars return. Price reductions disappear. The opportunity window slams shut. The February 2026 explosion. Prepare or get left behind. Mark your calendar. February 2026 is when the surge becomes undeniable. Spring selling season traditionally begins in late February and early March. But in 2026, after 2 years of pent-up demand, after 31% growth in mortgage applications, after inventory remaining stubbornly low, the explosion will be ferocious. Buyers who prepared, who fixed their credit, who saved down payments, who got pre-approved, they'll have a chance. Everyone else will watch from the sidelines as prices climb 5, 7, even 10% by summer in hot markets. If you're a buyer, the time to act is now. Pay off credit cards. Boost your credit score. Save every dollar. Get pre-approved with a strong lender. Understand your maximum budget and stick to it. If you're a seller, prepare your property now. Make repairs. Stage properly. Price strategically. Because when the surge hits, you want to be ready to capitalize on maximum buyer competition, not scrambling to catch up. The 2026 market will be unforgiving. It will reward those who prepared and punish those who waited too long. The 14% growth isn't a prediction anymore. It's already in motion. The only question left is whether you're positioned to benefit or whether you'll be locked out while others profit. The message is undeniable. The 2026 housing surge is happening. 14% growth, 31% more mortgage applications, billions of dollars in equity being deployed. But this isn't a recovery for everyone. It's a sorting event, separating those with resources from those without, those who prepared from those who didn't, those who will build generational wealth from those who will rent forever. First-time buyers are vanishing. Equity owners are dominating. Mortgage rates are stuck at 6%, and the opportunity window is closing fast. But here's the truth. Armed with this data, with this intelligence, with this understanding of market forces, strategic buyers and sellers can still win. Knowledge is protection. Information is power. Understanding where the market is headed gives you the advantage others don't have. So if this analysis gave you clarity, if it revealed patterns you didn't see before, smash that like button right now. Subscribe to Housing Intel for weekly data-driven real estate breakdowns that expose what's really happening in American housing markets. And drop a comment below. Are you buying, selling, or waiting? What's your strategy for 2026? We read every single comment. We'll see you in the next breakdown, because sometimes knowing when to move and when to wait can be the difference between building wealth and losing opportunity forever.